Here are a couple of examples of using function evaluation with quantities and this difference quotient fraction that's going to appear a lot from this point forward and in calculus with a couple of different examples. I've got a 2t minus 1 and also an x squared, which will have some expansion. But we'll start here with g of t equals a linear equation, just 2t minus 1. And we'll first do the g as a function of t plus h. So if you remember from function evaluation, all that's going to do is take the t plus h quantity and plug it in for t, since g is a function of t. So instead of 2t minus 1, you'll just have 2 times t plus h minus 1. And then the second thing is you just subtract off that g of t function as it is. I mean, there's nothing like anything extra to do for that. You just have to keep in mind that you're subtracting that entire function as it sits. So if there's more than one term, you have to make sure that you subtract every single term. So you'll subtract the 2t and you'll subtract the negative 1, making it plus 1. And then that whole thing will get divided by just the letter h. It's just the letter. There's no function evaluation to plug in and do anything for. And then you play cleanup. This doesn't have any exponents, so it's not that bad. You just do 2 times t plus 2 times h, subtract 1, and then subtract the 2t, and then add the 1. And if you'll notice, and this is sort of the beauty of this difference quotient, a lot of things cancel. The 2t subtracts away 2t, the negative 1, add 1, and you're left with 2h over h, in which the h's cancel because they're being multiplied up top and the division on the bottom. So you're left with 2 for your final answer here. That's all you have, just 2. For the second one, it has numbers instead of functions, but it's still the same concept. You'll still start by taking 2 plus h and plugging it into that quantity. So instead of x squared, you have 2 plus h quantity squared. And then the f of 2 is just the function f of x evaluated, the x value 2, so we'll just plug in 2 and square it, and then divide by the letter h. 2 plus h squared is 2 plus h times 2 plus h, and then subtract 4. And if we multiply those two products out, you get 4 plus 4h plus h squared minus 4 all over h. The 4's are going to cancel up top because it's 4 subtract 4. And then you're left with 4h plus h squared over h. The top has a common factor of h, and I can make that h times 4 plus h over the h on the bottom. And then the h multiplied out front will cancel with the h divided on the bottom, and you're left with a final simplified answer of 4 plus h. So it's all about watching your signs, watching the way that you input the function, careful what the function does. If there's a power, make sure you do that product out correctly. If there's subtraction, make sure you address that correctly. But otherwise, that works the same way. A lot of those terms will cancel when you simplify these difference quotients problem like that.